All right, peace, peace, brothers and sisters. My name is Minister Omari Jahi Aton, and I am the co-founder of this great movement called the Toma Nation, aka the Temple of Mercy Association, along with our founder, Minister Raheem Kased Aton, and our First Lady, Sister Makita Aisha Aton. Minister just goes with your name, Sister Makita. So I don't know. We're gonna have to figure that one out. But welcome to the Toma Nation Sunday worship service. We are located at 616 East on 71st Street here in the city of Chicago. We're not there today. We're online because of some technical situations that was going on at that location, but we're here online. And my subject for today is entitled Heaven or Hell? What is your final destination? So, brothers and sisters, I want to read a little introduction before I get started. And today I'm going to be showing a couple of videos, 2 or 3 videos that I want you guys to see. And we're going to jump right into it, okay? So the Toma Nation has been on a mission to deliver messages and teachings of redemption. For all have sinned, and I repeat that, for all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. For over 30 years, we have been teaching and ministering to all those that would have an ear that would hear. We have gone out into the streets and vacant lots and held rallies and on the topics of various social issues and that plague our communities. In the 1990s, we combated the Everfresh juice company because they had produced a juice in a half pint bottle, and they were promoting it to our children, kind of like they had various little commercials and posters that are out in the Black communities with young people with a half pint of this juice in their back pocket. We know who in our communities walk around with a half pint in their back pocket. Well, back in my day they did. I don't know if that's still happening today. But we knew as an organization that this was targeting our young people. And so we stood up and we did something about it. And I want to show you, this was a commercial, not a commercial, but this was something that was shown on television on Channel 2, and I believe it was Channel 7 News. They covered this. And we just want to give you an idea of what we were doing in the 1990s to combat the things that were going on in our community. So you guys take a listen.
Can you tell the difference between these bottles? I can't. A number of juice companies have turned to bottles that resemble alcoholic containers. Stores are selling them side by side. Southside community leaders are concerned.
From a visual standpoint, what these bottles do, the way they are made, they subliminally and subconsciously condition our children at an early age to be alcoholics. What they have done, they have declared, in a sense, psychological warfare on our community. And we are now declaring a defensive psychological strategy against their strategy.
The Temple of Mercy Association has visited a number of grocery stores in the area and has asked them to comply by removing the juices from their shelves. We paid a visit to a nearby grocer and found some of the juice bottles on display. The manager agreed to have the bottles removed within 2 weeks.
And what these are doing, these are subconsciously conditioning our children to be alcoholics. And what we're doing throughout the community, we're like going around demanding that these be taken out of the stores because of the shape of the bottle. Oh, very similar to the beer bottle.
No, I wouldn't want my kids to drink this. The police would be harassing them for this.
I think it's another thing to entice kids down the wrong path.
We stopped at a gas station across the street from a high school and again found a number of juice bottles and cans that resembled alcoholic containers. The owner was asked to remove the bottles and agreed.
Yeah, we have to go with the community. What community wants, that's we have to go through with those things.
Religious and community leaders are also mobilizing to rid stores of toy beepers, which they feel will lead children to emulate drug dealers. On the South Side, Teresa Gutierrez, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Well, parents are now getting signatures on a petition calling for a ban on those products, and they plan to present them to City Council.
A West Side man's facing charges tonight following a shootout with Chicago.
So
that was channel 2, 27. Now this is channel 2.
The drinks are alcohol-free, but critics worry that kids who think it's cool to try the lookalikes will eventually move on to the real thing. Channel 2's Christine Doyle has more.
This is juice. Did I get y'all walking down the street with this?
Sales may be sparkling, but angry community residents are calling on merchants in the Gresham neighborhood to pull juices that look like liquor off their shelves.
This looks like a wine cooler, but in reality, this is an orange cranberry tea.
At first blush, you might think they're wine coolers. The labels are that similar. St. Ides Crooked Line, a trademark on their beer, now adorns a can of iced tea. A bottle of Bartles and James has the same signature circle as non-alcoholic Crystal Magic.
This actually subconsciously and subliminally conditions our children to be alcoholics.
Once confronted, store owners say they're not to blame.
It's not our fault, it's the company's fault. They're the one who's selling this stuff.
One of the juices, Everfresh Triple Berry, is made right here in Illinois. When we tried the company, they refused to comment. But critics are undeterred. They're at streetlights, walking the sidewalks, gathering hundreds of signatures each day.
If we don't do something about it now, it's going to be too late to do it later. That's right. It's got to be stopped. If it don't be stopped, it's over.
The message that bottles like these don't belong in a child's hands.
We don't want our young brothers and sisters growing up drinking out of bottles like that. It's provoking them to drink liquor and wine.
Now, protesters are planning to take those petitions to City Hall, and they're also threatening to picket outside the Everfresh Juice Company headquarters on Wacker Drive. And Linda, the group tells us that 3 of the 5 stores they went to today agreed to stop selling those drinks.
They did, and we never saw those bottles again in the black community. This is the type of activity that community-based organizations are supposed to be doing. You know, we did picket outside of Everfresh Juice Company, and not only did we picket them, but we were sitting in a boardroom at the same time that we picketed them. You know, and while we were sitting in the boardroom, well, I wasn't there. I was, of course, I was on the battlefield. I wasn't sitting in the boardroom, but a call came into the guy that was in the boardroom negotiating with ourselves and some elder statesmen from the community, you know, and he got I guess he got the message that we're being boycotted at their warehouse, at their home office. Well, not their home office, but the warehouse in the city. And so those bottles did get removed, but now there's another plague in our community. There are guns in community stores, Uzis and Tech 9s and 9mm, toy guns that are being sold to our children. Well, we know they're not being sold to our children. They're being sold to the parents of the children that think it's cute for their young sons and daughters to have real life looking 9mm and AK-47s. It's the same thing that was happening in the 90s, where they were trying to make us, our children, the future alcoholics. It's now they're trying to make our children the future terrorists, or to depict the image of our children as being terrorists or drug dealers in some case, or gang members, I should say, in some case or form. So we need to get out here and do something about this, brothers and sisters. We have the addresses of a couple of these stores that are selling these weapons. I call them weapons because if a police officer saw some teenager running down the street with one, they would believe that they had a gun. They would jump out their cars and shoot that person down. And mark my words, if we don't do something about it, we're going to hear in the news that some young man got shot, or some young person got shot down with one of these guns, and the police will be justified because it looks real. Mark my words, it's going to happen. So we better get out here and do something about it. We were doing some things back in the community. I was in my 20s. Minister Raheem, we was in our 20s when we started doing these things. And I hear a lot of young people saying that they're too young. You know, their life is just starting. I'm saying to you now, If you don't do it, young people, I'm speaking to young people now. If you don't get out in these streets and start doing something about what's going on in our communities and stop acting as if it ain't happening to my kid or my children or my family, that it ain't your concern. If you don't get out here and start doing something about this, then your youth or just because you young ain't gonna mean nothing. It's not gonna mean a thing because the death and destruction is still gonna come to your door. And may even hit you. So I'm saying, I want to show another video real quick of myself, Minister Ezekiel Caparan, and at the time, our youth minister, Minister Armand McWilliams, who later on became Minister Amin Ra. So take a look at this. This is going to tell you a little bit about the temple. Again, this is back in the 90s. We were on the show, W.L. Lillich show, and we were talking about Toma and what was going on in our communities and why Toma came into existence. Y'all take a listen.
The Minister of Information, Minister...
Uh-oh, I'm sorry.
Ezekiel
I'm sorry.
Wells. Thanks for joining us, Brother Wells. And sitting next to Brother Wells is the chief of staff, new chief of staff, is that right? Yes. And he's the youth minister for the Temple of Mercy.
See how young we looking? We were in our 20s, I'm telling you. He was a teenager. He wasn't even in his 20s. He was a teenager.
Program, who was formerly the operations manager, Tyrone Williams.
Yeah, that was the slave name.
And first, I would like for the one with the most knowledge, which would probably be the operations manager, the ex-operations manager, who's now president of Save the Children, to give us an overview of Toma.
Well, the Temple of Mercy Association was founded on December the 12th, 1991. And one of the reasons for the founding of this organization is Minister Darrell Wilson, the co-founder, because we believe the foundation or the founder of the Temple of Mercy Association is God.
Okay.
So
before you go any further, let's just say that Brother Darrell Wilson is in the audience. He chose to sit out with a group of children. Like I said, this show is in lieu of our Busy Bee show, so we have a group of young individuals and some people who are Muslims, but Masons, who are part of Lodge 25, Franklin Lodge 25, Lodge number 25. And I'd like to just introduce Darrell Wilson, who is known as the sax preacher. And he said, I want to sit with my subjects. I don't want to sit up on no stage. But we're going to get some words from you too, Darrell, okay, when we come out and talk with the children. And a group of beautiful young children. Can I hear you say yes?
Yes, sir.
All right.
They put the sir in there, okay. Very good. I'd like to hear that from youngsters, being respectful to, I refuse to say elder, but being respectful to an adult.
Yes.
See, these were soldiers, young soldiers, but the challenge was we couldn't continue the development, you know, because as they got older, they were influenced by the world, and the world took them away from us. And so we see, just like we see now in the world, you know, young people aren't thinking about policing, not even policing, but patrolling our community. But we're going to get into that in a minute because there are some young black men that are. So let's look at the rest of this.
Okay. And, okay, continue your summation.
Yeah, you know, so Brother Minister Darrell Wilson, in his travels as a musician, he's toured Europe and Canada with a blues band, Roy Hightower and Motif. And in their travels, in the various airports that they went through, they noticed in some of the bars they were showing movies such as New Jack City right at the time, and a lot of these new black drug movies that they have out depicting young black men as gangbangers, rapists, murderers. And when he saw this, he began to realize that this is some type of almost like a propaganda campaign against young black males, stating that, showing Caucasian people or people all over the world that black males are rapists and murderers, which that's not the truth, and that's not the case. So
you get the same out of the Al Capone movies, that they're showing that the Italians are gangsters and murderers and hitmen. Do you get the same thing out of that? Do you get that out of that when you see that movie?
When I see that movie, I see fiction, you know, and most of us do. We see a movie.
Right. Well, you know, why is it differently when the black is?
Because not only do you see that in the movies, but when you turn on Channel 7 News, Channel 5 News.
No, that's the problem. When the news is off balance and off centers.
In connection with that, it paints that picture.
Well, that's what the news is painting. But let's don't say that people are so unsophisticated that they can't look at a movie and get enjoyment out of it without seeing a black man and depicting him as some kind of villain because he's a villain in a movie.
You know, I would agree with you if those movies didn't stereotype and program people in order how to dress, how to act, what type of cars to drive.
You're right.
So these movies do these things. So
the movie
can't
does
count
that.
The movies out.
The movie does that to the individual. So, yeah, it does it to it does it to us. Mm-hmm. Okay, we want to dress like those movies. We want to wear our hair like those movies. Mm-hmm. But what is that saying about the other people who are not doing anything like that? They're not wearing their hair like that. They're not dressing like that. They're not emulating the movie in any kind of way.
Okay, but I really want to stick to the point as far as why the brother started the Temple of Mercy.
Okay, go ahead.
And that reason was because in those theaters or in those in the airport, those movies were being shown. Driving Miss Daisy wasn't being shown, or any Dancing with Wolves wasn't being shown. It was New Jack City, Boys in the Hood. So, and the reason for this, we feel that they were painting all over America young black men as being gangbangers, murderers, thieves, and robbers. And in the minds, just like if you remember, that even in the newspapers, when they want to come after an individual, then what they do is they paint you in the media and on television as a madman. Idi Amin, they painted him as a madman. Saddam Hussein, he was a madman right before they moved on him. And so that's exactly, character assassination. So, Brother Minister,
speak up, Mr. Chief of Staff.
So, Brother Minister Darrell Wilson founded the Temple of Mercy Association in 1991, with the auspices of that we need to get into the streets and warn our people of the danger that is coming towards the black community, because just as the American government moved on Saddam Hussein after first painting him as an evil man in the media, they will also do the same with us, and you can see it now building up to that. And so that's the reason why he founded the Temple of Mercy Association, and our main goal is to but to identify and also inform our people that we are in a war and in a race for our life, and that we need to be aware of the genocidal plot that's being planned against us, and not only by others, and how the role that we're playing in it ourselves by killing one another.
You want to make a statement before?
Yes, I agree to what the brother said. Me myself, as a former youth in a youth organization, what they call as gangs, it's not just a movie, but I've been to the stores and seen how people would look at me just because I'm a young black male after seeing Menace to Society. I was at a theater watching Menace to Society, and in the theater, it was at Ford City, it was majority blacks, and in the front there were some Koreans. Now, they showed a scene in the movie where the young brother, you know, he walked in, his pants sagged, and he shot the lady and the man, you know, and robbed the store. It was Koreans in the front, and everybody else was laughing, and ooh, you see how he did that, but they was, you know, they didn't find that funny at all. So when we go back to the stores on 63rd Street, when they treat us and look at us a certain way, it's because of what has come off of these movies. A lot of people can sit back and say, well, we don't think that, we can't say that that's happening, but I was there, and I seen it, I lived it, I walked the path, I walked through the shoes of the person in the movie, And I seen how he was being portrayed. I seen how people looked on him. I mean, I walk in Walgreens right now, I'm getting followed all around the store. Why? They don't know me personally. Where did this come from? It's like what he said, that the whole thing dealing with propaganda.
Yeah, I wanted to comment. First of all, I wanted to say that in any civilization period, you have a king or you have a ruler. Even in the Bible, the government was, the responsibility of that government was always based upon the person who was in control and ruled during that period of time. Dealing with the movies, the brother was saying, black people have been portrayed in movies before Menace to Society, Demolition Man, as buffoons, clowns, ignoramuses. That's throughout history.
Driving Miss Daisy.
Driving Miss Daisy. That's the thing they've done throughout history with black people. Particularly when you go to the movies and you see white people in movies, whites just don't have comedy. You can go watch a movie and say a white person is a doctor or a lawyer, a white person is a scientist, a white person is a hero, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dolph Lundgren. When you go to the theater with black people, all you see are comedies. In fact, we cannot name one program that comes on TV that's black that's not a comedy. Even if we look at South Central, still there's laughter and a comedy. Now, the people that control this set this up, and we have to understand that 50% of the brain is visualization, according to psychologists and scientists, which means that if the brain is stimulated by visualization, that means what our people see is what they want to act out. And that's why if you look at the death rate among young black males, it's extremely high. These type of movies only add to the death rate and to the destruction of the black community, because you're talking about them saying 87% of all black males by the year 2000 either be in jail, 70% either be in jail or they'll be dead by the year 2000, range from like 13 to the age of 28. That's telling us that we have a serious problem in our youth, and when you see these things happening, and the only movies they're promoting, the movies that show us as criminals, Demolition Man, saying that we're, the year 2000 most ruthless criminal is going to be a black man, and Sylvester Stallone is the Demolition Man that comes in and tears down the buildings, which means black people have become a dilapidated building in the way of society, an obstruction to society's growth and development. They portray him like that, and so all black males are rushed in, and as they say all over America, according to statistics, black people are 10 times and 18 times more likely to be picked up for crime than our white people.
And you saying they shouldn't be picked up?
I'm saying that. This
I mean, if they committed a crime, I'm saying
all should be picked up if they commit crimes. If we want to deal with the root cause of the problem happening in the black community.
Let me explain something to you. In the black community, okay, black people are committing crimes. This is where we live.
Right.
It's very seldom that you're going to find a white person come over into our community and commit a crime.
But white people
the white colored white crimes is not going to
drugs come through the black community. Black people don't control the drugs.
That's true.
That's a
but we bring them here.
But we cannot separate.
And the guns, brothers and sisters. Don't forget about the guns, drugs and guns.
Them bringing drugs into the community from black people selling drugs. We have to deal with both.
Let's look at this, okay? Yes. Drugs are being distributed from the highest source of our society, okay? And there's nothing we can do about that.
Well, yes, there is something we can do about it.
Okay, well then let's do something about it.
False black leadership, particularly, I want to say this. False black leadership tell us nothing we can do about it, because leadership and those people that are our congressmen, our senators, our aldermen in these positions of authority and power, in order to hold on to their positions, they said nothing can be done about it.
Okay.
So they have allowed black people, particularly young black males, their future that they claim they're in office for, to be scapegoated as the #1 drug dealers when Mr. Clinton himself, when he was in Arkansas.
Okay, what can be done? Let's stop posturing. What can be done?
Well, what can be done about it is for us to come together, just like we're doing now with a program designed to teach our people the knowledge of self. Also, when you teach the knowledge of self, you're going to have to expose those who have been the architects of your destruction. Therefore, we must expose the government at the top. There's no way you can deal with the drug problem and just ignore the government's responsibility and its obligation also to solve the drug trade. Anytime drugs come across the borders and those people are not prosecuted, the banks and corporations launder drug money, they're not prosecuting. Mr. Clinton himself, when he was governor of Arkansas, is now being blamed by a high-ranking official for allowing drugs and guns to come through Mena, Arkansas, into the United States government. Yet that has not come out, but the book is out called Compromise now by one of the high-ranking officials.
Okay.
My question is,
hold your preacher for 1 second. Let's take a break.
All right, y'all. That's about all we're gonna see on that one. It was a lot more to that show, you know. But Minister Ezekiel Kepperwood was our Malcolm X. If that brother, and peace be upon his soul, you know, he's transitioned now, but which is in my mind is questionable as to his transition. You know, as most brilliant black young men and women, you know, that stand up for their people, you know, something always seems to happen to them at a young age. He wasn't that old when he transitioned. So I'm saying this to say that in the 90s, there was an organization that was on the battlefield. I mean, out there looking for things that could harm us as a race of people. We were looking for it, keeping our ears and our nose to the pavement to see what these white folks and these government organizations were doing and what they were plotting and planning, trying to do in order to cause harm to black people. That group doesn't exist anymore. The only ones that are left from back in that time is myself, Minister Raheem, Minister Joshua, and Brother Will. We are the remnants of a great movement that was back in the days, to the point now that I'm 63. We started in our 20s. That tells you how long we've been doing this. But there's nobody that's taking the reins. Nobody is coming to learn from us the wisdom and the knowledge that we have gained over 30 years. No young person, well, I shouldn't say none, because we also recognized that the black man was had a very negative image in our black community, in our own communities. So we decided to put a clean glass up against the dirty glass and show our women and children that there was still hope for the black man. And we created a hospitality patrol that was going to patrol the community, something sort of like y'all excuse me, my brain, it's so many things, so much going through my brain right now. But the Black Panthers, that's what I was trying to say. Something like the Black Panthers, but not toting guns or anything like that, but going through the community, talking to the residents of the community, making sure that while we were patrolling the community, that nothing went down to harm anybody that was in that community. We patrolled the Inglewood, in the Inglewood community, the Auburn Gresham community, the Chatham community, as well as the South Shore community. And we have also worked in solidarity with other groups and organizations, showing them and other that the definition of unity and what that unity looks like. See, when we work with other organizations, brothers and sisters, we do it because we want and we understand and we know that individually we can only do so much. But together, if we were to come together and work together, then it's a great work that can be done in our community if we all just came together. But to no avail, many of these organizations that we were trying to work with and be in solidarity with, they had a desire to excuse me, to retain their excuse me, their anonymity. Am I saying it right? Anonymity, meaning they wanted to keep their who they were, and they didn't want to lose who they were by joining on with somebody else. You know, it was almost like if the Black Panthers worked with the Deacon of Defense and the Nation of Islam, all of them, the FOI, were all in the 60s. If they all worked together, then the Deacon of Defense couldn't be identified as the Deacon of Defense anymore, and the Nation of Islam couldn't be identified as the Nation of Islam anymore, or the Black Panthers couldn't be identified as the Black Panthers anymore, because we were working together. And so whoever brought the people together is who's going to get the credit. You see, and that's what seemed to have been the problem back in that day, and it seems to be the problem today too. Who gonna get the credit for bringing everybody together? Who gives a care about who gets the credit? I know Toma didn't care. We worked with the United Black American Progress Association. We worked with them in solidarity, and we didn't care who got the credit, who did people see as being the ones that were doing the good in the community. We didn't care as long as the work was getting done and our people were being served. And I don't mean with rocks and blows. I'm speaking of the fact that our people are in need of someone that's going to be on the forefront or the battlefield and on the forefront, making sure that the garbage and the mess and all this crap that has seeped into the Black community, it wasn't supposed to get in, because there were supposed to be Black men like us in the 90s that were on the vanguard, watching, making sure that crap like these automatic toy guns and crap like that don't get into our community. If, again, I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, if we don't do it, I'm in my 60s. I know it's a lot of Black men. Don't tell me they all in jail, because I see them on the corners selling rocks and blows. They ain't in jail. If we don't get our young Black men out here in these communities doing something to stop what's coming, and this is something coming, brothers and sisters. I'm telling you, if we don't do something, this is again why the title of this lecture is Heaven or Hell. What is your destination? But we don't even really know what heaven and hell is. But let me continue. I was speaking of the original Men in Black, the OMIB. In the 90s, we came up with the name Original Men in Black because right when we came out with this group, the movie Men in Black came out. We were out first. I just want to say that. We were out first. And then when the movie came out, we had to put the original in front of Men in Black because we wanted to be real clear as to we wasn't copying from the movie because we were wearing black suits. And let me explain that. You heard on the W.L. Lillard show that there were some Masons in the audience. Masons wear black suits. This is where the black suit came from, because Minister Raheem, we went to our Masonic brothers and we asked them to hit these streets with us because we figured that if we hit the streets in numbers, then it's millions of Masonic brothers all over the city, even though we are divided, in masonry. He's even gang banging in that, but we went to our specific Masonic Grand Lodge and asked these brothers to hit the streets with us. And they turned us down. And so because of that, we created our own organization, not organization, but group to go into the community and to patrol our community, and not just patrol down the major streets. We went down side streets, alleys, and all. Wherever we thought something was going down, we went down there. And we weren't going there to arrest nobody. We were going there to warn these young brothers that were selling drugs what was coming. We went there to try to get them to understand what they're doing and the effect that it has on our community. And these brothers back then, they had respect for us. So now here we are, 2024, and the sins of the parents have passed down to the children. Today we live under the distinction of Generation X, Y, and Z. Who created these names, and do they relate to all ethnic groups, or are they only for Black people? Allowing others to name you African American, Negro. See, we didn't call ourselves Negroes. The white man called us that. We didn't call ourselves nigger. The white man did that. We didn't call ourselves African American. The white man called us that. My Hispanic brothers and sisters, you didn't call yourself Spicks. The white man did that. That's why I was Muhammad Ali, one of our greatest warriors. He wouldn't go to Vietnam and fight because you said the Vietnamese ain't never called me nigger. Why should I go over there and fight for this white man who calls me nigger every day? Black power to Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali. Now, again, when you allow somebody to name you, what you are doing is you are saying and you are identifying that that individual that names you owns you. I say that again. Anytime a group, an individual can name you, like I named my son. When he was born, I gave him his name, right? You know why? Because he's my son. I have some ownership of him, over him. And so anytime you can name a thing, anything you create. If I created this bottle, I determine what name to give it. Bottle. I determine that because I created it. And so when my eyes was open through the teachings here at Toma, I took off the old man and I put on the new man. That's when my name had to change. And no longer could I be Tyrone Williams anymore. I had to change my name. But the thing about it was I wasn't looking to change my name. I wasn't looking for a new name just to try to prove to somebody that I had changed. You know, I could be on here for another hour and tell you all the crap I used to do, from selling drugs to using drugs to fornication to adultery. I mean, just name it. I already told you in the beginning, all have sinned, including me, including you. So if all have sinned, then what is God really doing here with us? You know, it's been said that the year 2024 is the year that everything that is hidden shall be exposed. The sin and the sinner revealed to all. Now, all of us are sin, right? So, do we think that this exposing of sin and wrongdoing is just going to stop with the entertainers and the sports people? Do we think it's going to stop there? Or did it just start there? Look, sin, an immoral act considered to be transgression against divine law. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not commit fornication, right? Those two things deal with sex, right? That's a divine law by God. One deals with having sex without being married. Another is having sex with somebody and you are married and that is not your spouse. So it's all about having sex. Immoral act. It says sin. Immoral act, right? So immoral is, the definition of immoral here, it says not conforming to an accepted standard of morality. Not conforming, meaning if God says thou shalt not kill, then we say, if he pissed me off and I kill him, he deserved it. To hell with what God says. But what about the morality that goes along with all this about how you carry yourself, how you conduct yourself, all of these things? Is anybody teaching that anymore, or do we just get it? If you get it, oh well. If you don't, oh well. You know, because it seems like this thing dealing with sex seems to be taking us out, and we just don't really get it. I know I'm going over. I'm over 1 o'clock, but I'm gonna go a little over today, you guys. So just bear with me. I got one more video I want you guys to see. This is Minister Louis Farrakhan, the man of God on planet Earth right now today, and he's very ill. So you're not gonna get much out of him right now. So if you never listen to Minister Farrakhan, if you haven't studied him, if you haven't followed him and his teachings, like in the 20s, that's who we were listening to, Minister Louis Farrakhan. We aren't Muslims. Everybody thought we were Muslims, but we're not Muslims no more than I'm a Christian because I read the Bible. I read the Quran too. That don't make me a Muslim because I read the Quran no more. If I read a book written by a German, it ain't gonna make me a German. So you guys need to stop that. What's that? What's the word they use? Stop lumping us all in the same group. You know, you got to stop doing that. But check out this video, Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Let's practice safe sex. Let's turn on the radio first. Let's hear some music. What? Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. Shake your booty. You just a little baby, but you shake it. Why is your backside called booty? God damn. Oh. Why is your favorite phrase, this is my dog? Yo, dog. What's up, dog? See? Dog spelled backward is God. And God turned backward is a dog. Yo, dog. I love the booty. Bootylicious. That's what it is. Turn on your radio. What do you hear? Sex. You know, all of it is about different ways of having sex. Either you're killing somebody, you're smoking somebody, and F this and MF that. And see, this is what you're being fed. It's not only what you're fed in here that kills you. It's what you fed here. Safe sex. Let's practice that. See? Sex is as natural as drinking water or breathing air. So somebody's going to make mischief with a created thing. See, God created sex. It's not a bad thing, but it can be made real ugly. See? What did God create sex for? They got a song, birds do it, bees do it. Right? Everybody do it. Everybody do it. The Holy Quran says that Allah created everything in pairs because it's only through the pair that life is reproduced from the grass all the way to the human being. And Allah says He created creation and He reproduces it. You can't live forever. Nothing does. So the only way you live is through the business of reproduction, creativity. You see, creativity. Makes sense? So sex, God made for reproduction. Along the way, there's pleasure. Well, there should be pleasure that will bring us to pain. The woman receives with pleasure. Thank you, dear. 9 months later, pain. Lord, what I bother with that man for? I hate him, I hate him. Some of you cuss the man out while you're going through labor because that thing is rough. Pleasure, pain, joy with birth, pain with the responsibility of rearing a new life. See, God's way is so beautiful, but now, since your sexual appetite is being titillated by what you see, what you hear, the music, the dance, everything is funk, everything is shaking. There was a time when we danced, it had style to it. Today it's shaking. Then what the hell is this? So, I mean, a man looking at a fine-looking woman, turning her back to him and just shaking, how in the hell he gonna stay sane? So we just crazy today. You a fool for driving us like that. Because what they see is what they get. And you getting a man that love you for your breasts and your butt, after a while that sags. Gravity will get the breasts and gravity will drag the butt down. And after a while you see him looking for something else because you attracted him on a foolish purpose, a foolish thing that is fleeting. But when he's attracted to the brilliance and the beauty of the female here and the female here, then there's some permanence in that kind of relationship. Making sense? Now, our people are dying from sex now because that's how the AIDS pandemic is spreading. And since we are so sexually prone now, and the people are styling your clothes, sister, so you can attract men. Look, there used to be a time if you stepped in jeans, they came up here. Damn. Now the jeans is down here, your drawers. Damn. Y'all got to pardon me. I don't mean no harm. But this is the way your pastor should be teaching you. This is the way your professor should be guiding you. I'm only one man. I'm trying to make many. But if Basil Rathbone, Sherlock Holmes, were here, he would say, that is elementary, my dear Watson. What I'm teaching you is just elementary. Imagine when it gets real deep. There's so much wisdom that you and I need to function in a world like this. And all wisdom is taken off the radio. Serious talk shows, let's get rid of them. Serious talk show hosts, get rid of them. Corporate America buying up radio stations, corporate America buying up newspapers, corporate America feeding you. And they know exactly what you're going to do, because he who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes the circumference of your activity.
Yes, brothers and sisters, that's, that's very powerful what Minister Farrakhan just shared with us, because, and it goes to the gist of this lecture. We have all these men that are being exposed to sexual harassment, sexual assault, sexual misconduct. I had some slides to show you guys to kind of help with this. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I don't see it. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Is this it? Nope. Wait a minute. I don't think that's it. But anyway, I'm hoping that might be it. This is what I'm looking for. No. Okay. We were talking about 2024 and how 2024 is the year of being exposed. But why? Why are these being exposed? Why do things to do with sexual intercourse and immoral activity? Why did we have to in the beginning that all sin? Because we all looking at Diddy, we looking at R. Kelly and all these people. We like, oh, this is horrible what they have done, and yet are these guys going to hell, or are they going to heaven, or are you and I to them? But we just have the money or the influence to be in it. Look, heaven and hell, sisters, is not a place that you go to when you die. This is the most thing about this lecture, this saying, and I want you all to listen. It is not a place that you go to. It is a state of mind. Heaven, by definition, is a place regarded in various religions as the abode of God. Hell, a place regarded in various religions as a spiritual realm of evil, and so often traditionally depicted as a place of perpetual fire beneath the earth, where the wicked are punished after death. Brothers and sisters, let me give it straight. God is thought. Your thoughts are what connected to God. And as a thought, we are taught thoughts are the prerequisite to action. So, if your actions are bad, then your thoughts are bad. We were talking about that on that show with Bill Lillard. We were talking about how we were being programmed to act, how we were being programmed how to dress, what kind of clothes to wear, what kind of hairdos to wear. We were being programmed how to think. Because if you control thoughts, you can control their act. So, if heaven and hell is not a place that you go to, but it's a frame of mind, that means when you right? You do right. So you live in heaven, right here on earth. We are in right now. We are in heaven right now, here on earth. Does God want to be in hell? No. God wants us to change our ways. He wants us to change, brothers and sisters. And when you change your ways, you'll then, like me, taking off the old man, old woman. They used to sin, smoke, drink, fornicate, get high, get good stuff on the party all the time. Take that old off and put on a new person that's more community minded, that's thinking about what they can do to improve the community, creating organizations and programs that's going to help the community and the people in the community. This is what the old man on the new man, brothers and sisters. God wants us to change. And we can't change if we're still going to the same old crap. Or we new and old crap. You know, we find this old crap that we were doing. So, brothers and sisters, I see somebody, a couple of comments. This is what we got. Audio is in and out. Oh, wow. Yeah, the audio. Hold on, let me see. I don't know what's happening. Okay. All right. I don't know. But anyway, I thank you all for listening. I don't know the audio is why it's bad or whatever. But I thank you all for listening. And I'm going to close out now. But I want to say this before we go. That Toma, we want to open our doors to any black man or black woman that want to change. If you want to change, we are located at 616 East on 71st Street here in Chicago. We're there on Sundays from 12:30 to 1:30. And we're there on Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Be a part of it. Come and learn what you need to do in order to change. I thank you all for listening. And I leave you as I greet you in ancient holy words of peace. Hotel, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and I.
For joining us for our weekly Sunday worship service. We invite you and your family to join us live every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street at our new time from 12:30 to 1:30 p.m. and on Facebook from 12:30 to 1 p.m. If you have enjoyed what you have heard, please feel free to support us with a monetary gift on Cash App at $TOMANATION. Once again, that's $TOMANATION. This will conclude our live stream. The message you have been listening to will continue live here at the Toma headquarters. We thank you, Black family. See you next Sunday. Black Power.
This is the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power! Black power! Black power!